This is my 10 out of 10. Cheers. Pay no mind to the poop on the window. So it's like a Florida chip polenta. I was expecting like cheers. All right, kitties. Kitties and friends. We have made it. We have made it to Shenandoah Park. Shenandoah National Park. We did it! Okay, so now we are at the entrance. There may be like 3 cars ahead of me. Oh, we're moving. And it's the close of the season. It's the end or the middle of November. So people aren't really out here like that, which is fine for me. Perfect for me. But I have the America the Beautiful pass. So basically, this is an annual pass that you pay for annually. And it grants you entrance and admission into every national park and federal recreational land pass. So the fee that people are paying now to get in there, I'm not paying that because I paid the yearly annual pass. And the annual pass this year was $80. So here, let me see here. I got to get closer. But here, I think per person, it's at like $15. So technically, if you're traveling the country, if you're getting around, this card pays for itself. You know, $15 here. I think last time we went to Monument National Park in Colorado, that joint was like $20+. So if you had the $80 one, if you're going to all these national parks or these recreational lands or BLM lands, you're good. So yay. Excitement. Okay, yeah, so far I can see private vehicles are $30 a piece. $30 a piece. An annual pass to Shenandoah is $55. So I paid $80, but this gives me entrance to other parks. Motor vehicles, let's see, motorcycles is $25 and per person is $15. So again, to come in per person is $15. The private vehicle is $30. And if you're on a motorcycle, it would be $25. I'm losing my voice, but or I'm gaining my voice back. But the pass covers all that, so I don't have to worry about that. Now, when I get in here paying for, if I want to stay somewhere, that's extra. There's some lodges, it says, that are available that have vacancies tonight. And if I brought some clothes, I may have stayed the night. We'll see. Hello. Hi, good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good.
Wonderful. Do you have an ID for?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
You have a beautiful day.
Oh, you too. Thank you. Have a good one. Oh, that was easy. That was easy and that was quick. So basically all she did was ask me for my pass and then my ID, which I'm not going to show, to verify that it belongs to me. So yeah, that was quick and easy. All right. Well, let's get on the road. Yay! All right. I'm going to get out and overlook. Ugh. Oh my. Oh, it's so beautiful. All right, so I wanted to talk about dreams. A while ago, I mentioned something about like the fact that you don't necessarily need to own the luxury to experience it, right? Like, I think sometimes we're always in search of like, how can I own this thing? How can I own this thing? Like, how can I get this thing under my ownership? But the thing is like, I don't need to own Shenandoah, right? To experience the luxury of Shenandoah. I don't need to own her mountains or her valleys to experience the joy that she brings. And I don't know. I'm just like, how many beautiful opportunities are we missing out on because we feel like we have to own the thing in order to enjoy the thing, right? Like we could just experience it. It could be as easy as this, right? Like just literally driving, if you have a car, obviously nuance. If you have a car, being able to drive to a beautiful spot and just park there and sit there and be there. Like, this is the whole point. This is all I want. Like, this is what I want forever, for always. This is what I want forever. You know, the peace that I feel right now. Like, this feeling that I feel right now is what I'm after with everything. All the money I want to acquire and amass, all the whatever, it's just so that I can experience this. And it's like, when we make it that simple, we realize like, yo, actually life is that simple. Just drive to the places that make you happy, do the things that make you happy, be around the people that make you happy, right? Like, and that is wealth, being able to have the choice to be able to go to these places, to these beautiful places. Yeah. I don't have to own the Shenandoah to experience her magic. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have to camp here tonight. Like, I'm here, I'm day camping. Like, I can experience this on a smallest, like the most accessible level. Like, what can I do? Get in my car and just go. Back into the car. More beautiful places. All right, now this is the part that starts getting spooky scary, because the higher you go up, the quieter it is. Right? But look at this. But it's so amazing up here. Listen, I got to keep looking over my shoulder, because why on that thing, there's a picture of a black bear and it says like they be hanging out below the brushes. I'm not trying to get caught up. But also, look at this. So about 7-ish years ago, I had a dream to RV across the country. And if you didn't know, I used to be a full-time RVer with Jemile, and we crossed the country. We went from the East Coast all the way to Colorado. And that was the happiest time in my life. And then 2020 happened. A lot of stuff happened. COVID, lots of things, money, blah, blah, blah. And I had to put the dream away. And I was devastated. I was devastated that I could no longer live my dream. And I tried to make new dreams. I tried to find new dreams. And honestly, I do think that I uncovered some new dreams, but I'd be lying if I said that RVing across the country, being nomadic, if that wasn't the dream of all dreams for me. And it is. But I still tried to ease that pain and sorrow, because I figured, oh, that dream is over. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to move on. It's time to find another dream. Maybe I can find a different dream or something similar. Maybe I could, be a real adult and finally put my adult pants on, so to speak, which really just means give up your dream for capital, for people's approval, for their convenience, for their own preferences and their own understanding. But I was suffering. I don't want another dream. I don't want another dream. I want to do this. I just want to be in beautiful places. I want to find beautiful places, rest in them, seek them out, and have fun. I gotta make sure it's still recording. But yeah, I want to have fun. Like, this is my 10 out of 10. This is my 10 out of 10. This is my 10 out of 10. Like, this is the dream that I want. This is the dream that I so desperately desire. I see the plane making all the noise. But either way, yeah. And I thought that I could trick myself or talk myself into something different. And then I realized I don't want nothing different. Okay, so yeah. So this is my dream. And dreams come back around. That's my whole point. Dreams come back around. Dreams, don't let you forget them. Dreams, right? Like, your dreams don't die, right? Shout out to Stephanie Perry. She had a whole video about that with Alecia from Picky Girl Travels the World. But my dream has changed. Not necessarily, my dream hasn't changed. The way that I get to my dream changed. So instead of like, oh, I need to get an RV and I need to da-da-da, actually I can just get in my car and go to the park. Actually, I could just get in my car and go to one of my favorite places in the whole wide world. You all can't see, but there are cars coming up the thing. But okay. Yeah. And I thought that I would have to give up my dream. I thought that I would have to find something else to do. I thought that I would have to find someone else to become. I don't know. Because it hurt too much and I couldn't even revisit it. I couldn't even revisit our vlog channel because I was so heartbroken and devastated that I hoped and I reached and I dreamed so big, and then my dreams were crushed by things outside of me. 2020 was a very tumultuous year for me for a lot of reasons, but for a lot of us, COVID, right? And so because when we were camping, a lot of campgrounds were shut down, money was drying up, connections that I wanted to make with the National Park Services didn't pan out because they were closed. It was a whole thing. And yeah, I was devastated. Yeah, I was heartbroken. Yeah, like, and I fought that so much. I was like, no, in spite of this, we're still going to do the thing. And it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to turn out. And so I gave up. I gave up because it just hurt too much. It hurt too much to want and to not have. It hurt too much to desire and not get. Like when I tell you, like we had to do a lot of things. We had to give up the RV. It was a whole thing. Like it was a whole thing. And I felt like a failure. I felt like such a failure. And I carried such shame with me. And that shame kept me from the truth of the matter, right? It kept me from living my dream. It kept me from the parks. It kept me from revisiting and reliving the dreams that I already brought to life. But like, yo, like I brought my dream to life though, right? Not a lot of, like, when I had to actually make a list. I'm not a failure. I don't know. I'm not a failure. Not that you're calling me one, but I had to make a list of the dreams that I actually brought from my imagination into reality. Like I've done big things. I moved into an RV full time and traveled full time and made a YouTube channel about it and made money from it and made connections from it. Right? Like I've made albums. I've written books. What? Like my art has made ways for me. Black women support me to rest right now. Like I'm good. Like, and it's so interesting because even though I have all these wins under my belt, it's this one thing, like this dream deferred, this dream crushed, or that perspective of a dream crushed is what I can only focus on. It's like, no, Alecia, I'm a big deal and I've lived multiple lives. And those lives keep coming back and knocking on your door and saying, hey, you want to live me again? You want to relive that joy again? And as long as I have air in my lungs, right, I can live those dreams. My dreams come back around. Like, this is all I ever want. This is my dream. To be quiet in nature and witness. Why can't I have this dream? Right? And I think what I felt most was like embarrassment, and maybe not necessarily, maybe from others, right? Like, oh, you all did that. We had a big like farewell party and everything. Like, oh, you're going to get on the road. And then things didn't work out the way that we thought it was going to work out. And I was so embarrassed about that. I was so embarrassed to be caught trying and wanting and desiring. I was so embarrassed that I was so confident and then it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out. And I felt like I had egg on my face. But it's like, where did we learn that we should be ashamed of trying, right? Like, where do we learn that? Shouldn't we be proud of ourselves? Like, where did we learn that, like, using air quotes, failure is the end? No, it's gathering information, because now that I've RV'd, right? Now that I have traveled halfway across the world, I know what to do better now. I know better now. I know what to expect. We got in our RV not knowing what to expect, never having done this before. And it was amazing. We got in our car and traveled across the country, and it was amazing. And I'm realizing that I could have the life that I dream of. It's not going to cost $1 bajillion. It's not going to cost my pride, right? Well, actually, it might cost my pride, because if I am at peace and content just being in nature, yeah, that might rub some people the wrong way. Why are you not earning? Why are you not striving? But like I was saying earlier, the only reason why I earn and strive, right, and not the only reason, is to live and to grant myself time to do what I love, which is this. Like, this is the whole point. I don't have to gain permission. I don't have to go past, right? Like, I don't have to pay the toll. I can just go. I don't have to, okay, I've worked really hard this week, so I guess I can go to the park this week. No, I can just go. I could just go to the park because, NPS and my card gives me access to the places that I want to go. And nothing is stopping me from going except this inner traumatized person that tells me that we don't get to play until we work hard, that people will harm us for not suffering first, which may be true, right? Like that trauma inside of me came from things that actually happened. People making fun of you, people calling you a slacker or you're lazy or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, girl, you can keep all that. I just want this. This is all I want. This is all I ever want. Is this. I'm just at peace. I'm at peace. Even with dreams deferred, I'm at peace. Friend, you got to go. Literally, all I want to do is literally take pictures, travel to beautiful places, make songs, be happy. All right, it's starting to get warm. It's starting to get cold, so I need to warm up. Need to put on warm things because I feel like I'm getting higher in elevation, which is exciting. But it's also very windy, very chilly up here. Definitely 55 degrees when the high today was supposed to be 70. But I'm having a great time. Also, look at this rock formation behind me. Stunning. But yeah, apparently that is pollution. That is sad. All right, I did kind of want to say something about dreams and people making fun of them. People will laugh. People will. Hold on. People will judge. People will laugh. People will point. People will put expectations on you that they never put on themselves. People will have their own idea and opinions about what your dreams should look like, what your dream should be, right? Yeah. All that may be true, and still, it's still worth you chasing your dream. Again, when people were calling me like a vagabond or whatever the heck, when I was living in the RV, or when people were making fun, or people were asking, oh, well, what's the plans for the future? I had none. I was living in the moment. But I'm gonna be honest with you, that moment is what I want, right? Like that moment is filled with all the things that I ever want and need. When I RV'd, I had a great time because I was living in my home, right? I was driving my home. I had everything I needed in my home. I love cozy, quiet, small spaces. I loved traveling in our car because it was even smaller. It was even cozier, you know? And I'm learning that like your dream doesn't have to pass other people's test of viability. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that that's like a basic lesson, but your dreams don't have to tickle the fancies of other people. It's not their dream, right? Like when we had our going away party, it was so funny. A couple of our friends like walked into our RV and they were like, you finna share a small space like this together? Yes. Like I like small spaces. I like, you know, like that feeling you get when you were a kid. Oh, it's a motorcycle. That feeling you got when you were a kid and you put like a blanket over the table and you made a fort. I love that feeling. And RVing, car camping, it gives me that feeling. Also, I love slow. I love living slowly. Nature is the slowest living, right? Like, nature lives slowly as well. And so why wouldn't I want to be around her, right? Like, no, these are all lining up with the person that I am, the things that I want, the things that I desire and I dream of. And none of that has to be ran through a test for other people to see that it's legit. You know, my dreams are for me. My dreams are for me. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's not going to like it. And everybody's not going to approve of it. And does that mean that I don't get to live my dream? No. No, I still get to live it. But I will say, it is hard. It is hard when you want the approval of other people and they're not giving it to you. It's difficult. It sucks. You know what I mean? And even still, when I think back of like when I was the happiest was when I was dry camping or boondocking in Durango, Colorado with no plug ups, no nothing. We were just in the middle of the forest, just surrounded by nature with the windows open in our RV. And I was writing and reading and creating and I was just so happy. And I guess that because it failed the first time, Like I said, I feel like I gave up on that dream and tried to find another one, but I don't want another one. I don't. I think sometimes dreams do change, and I do think that sometimes they shift, and I feel like even now my dream has shifted a little bit, but the desire, the feeling that I want, right? What we really dream of. I think about whatever. I'm being led by my emotions, right? And I know that a lot of people say like, oh, don't lead by your emotions, don't blah blah blah. Every decision you make is emotional. Every single decision you make is emotional. What you choose to eat is emotional. It is. You might think it's logical. It's really emotional. Because let's talk about like eating healthy. Why are you eating healthy? Because you want to be perceived a certain way. Why do you want to be perceived a certain way? This is like whatever. Even the most like vain reasons, right? You're living like you're eating that because you want to have this body. You want to have this body because of how society treats people in this body, with this body, right? You want to be accepted. You want to feel like you belong. It's all emotional. Everything is emotional. And I think that we do ourselves a disservice when we try to say like, oh, don't be led by your emotions. Yes, be led by your emotions. You know what I mean? And I know that like people are not nuanced online, but obviously we're not talking about harming people, right? We're talking about going to the woods. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about enjoying ourselves. Like we're talking about being at peace. We're talking about being in environments that make us feel happy, that add life to our health, right? They give us strength. Like this is the best case scenario. And so while my dreams might not make a lot of sense to other people, I follow that feeling I'm after, that feeling of awe and wonder, the feeling of beauty, like of witnessing and admiring beauty. Like isn't that what we all want? Like even all this earning, all this like doing and becoming, aren't we all doing that in hopes of one day being able to rest, being able to do what we really love, right? Like you're at your job that you hate because, for example, speaking from personal experience, because if you leave this job, everybody's going to call you a failure. Everybody's going to say that you can never stick with nothing. And the thing is like, why am I being celebrated for my ability to stick with things that hurt me and harm me and things that I hate? Why can't I be celebrated for sticking with it, right? Like, let's say that I was in school and I dropped out, right? People would cheer me going back to school and finishing my degree, right? Why can't we feel that same way about our dreams? I didn't drop out of my dreams. Life happened. You know what I mean? I didn't give up on my dreams. Life happened. I never stopped wanting and dreaming for this, you know? And I thought that I had to do all these things around it to be able to earn it. But really, I can just walk to it. I could just walk towards it, and I don't need permission. I never needed permission. And my dreams were going to keep knocking anyway. You know? So yeah, like, why can't we celebrate people putting down their dreams for a second, tending to their wounds? Because yes, chasing dreams sometimes does wound you. Yes, it does. It hurts. Sometimes it's devastating. Okay? Sometimes you learn about people's hearts that you didn't know before. Sometimes you learn that people actually hate you. What? Like, I have things to heal from, and I can still be tender and gentle with myself and be like, but this dream never stopped being for me. Just because my circumstances may have changed, doesn't mean that like, what? Like there's no best by date on your dream. There is none. All this is made up. Like even the ideas that we have around like, oh, I'm too old to dream, it's too late, blah, blah, blah. Who said? And who said you don't get to pick up your dream again and go full force when you feel inclined, when you feel inspired? Who said that? You know? I literally decided yesterday I'm going to get in my car and drive to Shenandoah. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm living my dream. I am living my dream right now. I might not have all the bells and whistles that everybody says that I should have, but I'm living my dream right now in the way that I can live it. And I think that we need to start having like grace with ourselves, that like, even if you cannot live out your full dream, like it has to be, you know, big and strong and like expensive and, you know, groundbreaking. It's like in real life, it's the small things. It's the inch by inches. It's the small decisions we make that tweak and tune our lives and set us back on the course of like joy, you know? It don't be the big things a lot of times, even for my own creative journey. It wasn't the big breaks. It was small breaks. It was a lot of small breaks. You know what I mean? And each one got me here gently. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no, you know, yanking over here. It was a gentle, hey, here's the path. Here's the path laid. And I trust that if I pursue my joy, the path will be laid out in front of me. I think a lot of people don't move. Oh, that raven is getting it. Or a crow. I think it might have been a crow. But like, I think we don't move because we're waiting for this big whatever. But it's like, no, like all the clues and all the pieces to your puzzle are laid out in those small little moments of joy. You know, like that's how my creative journey has been. That when I sing a song and it makes me happy, I put it up because I want to share it. And then somebody finds that song and then offers me an opportunity to make some money, right? Like, and I think like we're always thinking about money. We're always thinking about money, but I'm after money so that I can be wealthy enough to experience this all the time. But even if I don't have all the money in the world, I can still experience this as much as I want, as long as I have gas or a car or means or a way to get here. You know what I'm saying? And if I can't get here, I can go to a local park. I can sit on a swing. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the little things. And I think that when we ignore those calls because we find them inconvenient or small, right, we miss out on opportunities to actually be wowed. And the wows are in the small things, you know? So anyway, rambling, but I hope that made sense. Pick your dream back up. I celebrate you picking your dream back up. Just like, oh, you're finishing school. Yeah, pick your dream back up. Like, why do we only get to pick up the dreams of other people that other people have for us? Why can't we pick up our own dreams? You know? And realize, like, I'm living my dream right now. Right now. I don't have the RV, and that's devastating. I don't have, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the things that I wanted to have. But I have life, and I have this vehicle. I do have something. I do have an opportunity, and I have nature. You know, and nature is always free. You know, I mean, asterisk, because you did have to pay a price to get in here. But it's like, I'm living my dream right now. And this is all I want. And that gets to be all I want. And shout out to my therapist. We were talking about cozy living and how I think I felt all this pressure on me to like do this big thing. I need to do this big one thing or be known for these big things. And she told me, like, you get to be in pursuit of a cozy life. And that's the life I really want. That's the life, excuse me. That's the life I really want. I want a cozy life. Sorry, y'all, my voice is, you know, whatever. It's doing vocal things. But I really want a life that feels good and cozy and safe for me. And I wonder how many of us are living our lives performing for other people. You know? Like, how many of us are doing things, staying at a job we hate, being in relationships we don't like, living in places we don't like. Because we're too busy. We're too afraid of what other people will say or think about us, because society does a great job in us centering and teaching us to center the thoughts and opinions of other people, especially other people that go along with the program. Because you do get rewards for going along with the program, right? And they make those rewards enticing. Don't you want to belong? Don't you want to be loved? Don't you want to finally like be accepted? But the truth of the matter is that it's never enough, right? It's never satisfied. There's always something more to earn, something more to gain, something more to become, a new fad or a new trend, right? To follow. That's the lie. But on top of that, it's like, I'd much rather, like, yes, I want to be loved. Yes. The answer is yes. And also, I want to be happy. I want to be regulated. I want to be grounded. I want to be, there's a kid behind me wearing shades and they look so cute. She's so cute. But yeah, like, I want to be happy. I want to be fulfilled. I want to be cozy, and I want to be healthy and safe. And I've been learning a lot about the way that my brain works and the way that my nervous system is set up. And it's just not set up in the way that I thought it was. And I realized, like, I've been overdoing it. And it's the freedom and the fear that came along when she said, you get to be in pursuit of a cozy life. The fear that came along was, well, then who will I be then? Because for so long I was celebrated for doing the hard thing, for being, you know what I'm saying? For going above and beyond, for being extraordinary, right? And I didn't realize that sometimes that was actually harming me. And so she says to me, like, I get to be in pursuit of a cozy life. I get to center myself in my own life. I get to make my dreams up of my joy, not of what I think will get me money or fame or access or support or whatever. I don't know. A raise, insert thing here for you, right? But like, no, what if I actually set up my life so that I can do this all the time? Right? And that is success to me. Nobody asks us, what is success to you? Success to me is me being happy, healthy, whole, warm, cozy, grounded, I love cuddling. I love a cozy. You know what I mean? Like, and I've been doing all these things in the way that the world wanted me to do them, in the way that the society wanted me to perform them, right? But I want to play. I want to be. I want to be safe. And I don't feel safe. The truth of the matter is, I don't feel safe when I'm performing for people, when I'm tap dancing for them and hoping they'll like me. I don't feel safe. I feel like I'm on trial. I feel like I'm always under surveillance. I feel like somebody has the power to withdraw my divinity from me. Somebody has the power to destroy me. Somebody has the power to determine that I'm not worth it. And honestly, if I keep seeking permission from other people, they're never going to give me permission because, and I'm talking about like the powers that be, why would they give me permission when they need me to be a cog in their wheel? Why would they say, yeah, Alecia, you get to chase your dream even if you don't make $1 million, and we're going to tell you that you need to make $1 million. Why? Because if I tell you need to make $1 million for your dream, then you'll always be on my, what do you call it? Hamster wheel. And I'm saying hamster wheel on purpose because you're just running in circles. They're never going to give you, they're dangling that thing in front of your face. They're never going to give you what you want. And so since they're never going to give me what I want anyway, right? Why not I chase my dream? Also, I'm a Black woman. I have the privilege of being a Black woman in this lifetime. I have a privilege of not having to conform, of being born disqualified from their system. And I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. Because I was born disqualified from their system, I no longer have to chase it. I no longer have to fit in it. Yay. So if I no longer have to fit in it, if you're going to chastise me for being Black, for being woman, right, for being insert thing here, then like, why don't I just get to be who I want to be anyway? If you were going to hate me either way, why not you just hate me while I'm in the mountains? You know what I'm saying? Instead of like at a cubicle at a job that I hate, that my boss hates me at. You feel me? Like, if I got to choose my hard, why not choose a hard that makes me happy and that's harder for everybody else, you know? And then we're always taught that, like, because these thoughts are coming in, we're taught that we're not trustworthy. Don't trust your heart. Don't follow your feelings. Blah, blah, blah. Who else I'm going to trust, honey? Who else am I supposed to trust? You know what I mean? Like, if I can't trust myself, who am I supposed to trust? And who does it benefit for me not to trust myself? Not me. Who does it whenever I trust myself, I find gems, I meet beautiful people, I find paths I never knew existed. I get to see the mountaintops. I get to look into valleys. This is like, let me show you what happens when I trust myself. Hold on. This is what happens when I trust myself. You know what I mean? Like, this is what happens, right? Not whatever the heck they thought was going to happen if I trust myself. The truth of the matter is they're afraid that I'm going to trust myself too much and exit the system and be like, oh, actually, I trust myself too much to stay here. They're afraid that I'm going to wake up to myself and realize, oh, girl, actually, because when I sit and when I think about it, when I sit and think things over, whenever I trusted myself, like, this is how I got here. I got here by trusting myself. I got here by singing songs on the internet. I got here by sharing my heart and my thoughts. I got here by taking pictures and daring to set up a photography business. I got here, right, by buying an RV, by saving up money, by installing solar. I'm a smart girl, okay? I just look at myself, what was there in shame that I looked at before. I am in awe of myself. I am in awe of myself. Even though the dream paused or took a turn or led me somewhere else, right? Even where it led me, even the breaks have been beautiful. Even the rest stop, even though it's been painful, right, to mourn the dream, this rest stop has still been beautiful. I've still been able to do beautiful things, meet beautiful people, go beautiful places. You know what I mean? Have beautiful experiences. And it's not a loss. It's not a failure. And I think that because I was looking at it as a loss and a failure, I couldn't return back to my dream. But like, my dream was never ashamed of me. Aw, my dream loves me. She was never ashamed of me. You know, my dream trusts me. My dream loves me. My dream wants me to have fun, you know, wants me to have fun with her. My dream wants me to not take her so seriously. You know, like, my dream wants me to play, to be a full human being, to give myself the privilege that my ancestors may not have had, to be playful, you know? Yeah, so, I don't know. It wasn't a loss. I'm not ashamed of myself, and my dream's not ashamed of me. And if anything, I have more knowledge now. I should have more bravery. I should have more bravery because of all the things I overcame and all the things I did when I was afraid and didn't know any better. Now that I know better and now that I know all the things, right, it makes me look at myself like, oh, I should have. No, like, I figured that stuff out on the fly. I researched how solar panels worked, bought batteries, figured out wiring, right, with the help of Jamile. But, like, I did that. Like, that I can do anything. My dreams have shown me I can do anything that I put my mind to. I can figure it out. And I will figure it out. You know? Anywho, let's continue to drive. Like, look at this. It is very windy. Look at this little fly. That's how I feel when I'm driving on top of these mountains. All right, while I got some service for a little bit, I'm going to look up maybe a winery. I don't know how the weather is at the bottom of the mountain, but up here it's pretty cool. It's pretty chill. So I might look up a winery with some food because I'm hungry. It's almost 1 o'clock. I've just been driving around looking at beautiful places for like 3 hours, but I'm hungry. So let's find a place to eat and then we'll pick up. I didn't want nothing. I just want to show y'all this tree that's just like standing out in the middle of nowhere. Like, how nice. So gnarly and just like above all of this. It's so pretty. Oh, okay. Oh, this is their hayride. Oh. How are you?
You just took the last parking space. You have to go all the way up top of the hill, and the gentleman at the top of the hill will direct you to where to park.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. All right, friends. Hopefully you can hear me, but I am at a winery right now, and I stumbled upon this by accident. And I'm excited. Look at my little red wine. It's pretty good too. Tastes pretty delicioso. I might get some food from here. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. Yeah. They have live music here, but I'm over in the cut, so I can't really hear it. So I figured, you know what? I have headphones, and I actually feel better when I wear my headphones. So I think I'm just gonna listen to my own music. Cheers. Also, look at this view. Look at this view. Can't really. All right, so those were the mountains that I just showed you. Those were the mountains that we just drove over. Isn't that fun? It's fun. I'm having fun. Again, cheers. Wow. It's a perfect autumn day. Okay, let me also tell you. I gotta also tell you how I found this place on accident. So, literally, I looked up wineries was it like yesterday? Maybe yesterday. I was looking up a bunch of wineries to stop by, like, oh, I'm gonna have a whole Shenandoah day. I'm gonna go to the mountains. And then this morning I was like, if I don't go to the winery, it's fine. Who cares, right? And then this morning from Trisha Hersey's rest deck, I pulled this card. And this is so like in alignment because I literally pulled this right before this person's looking at me. I pulled this right before I left the house. And it says, I will wander and flow more. Rest is an experiment. I will wander and flow more. Rest is an experiment. So, literally, oh, it's a ladybug over there. But literally, all day I've been wandering. All day I've been following my intuition just to see where she takes me, where she wants to lead me, what she wants me to see, you know. And it's been great. I've been seeing lovely views and signs and sights, I should say, sights and sounds. It's been great. And then, what luck, so I didn't even know, but today is like their autumn festival at the winery I'm at. I'm going to share the name with you later. I think it's called like Reitano. I'll share it later. Anyway. But today is their autumn festival. So like there's a bunch of crafts and people selling stuff for Christmas. A bunch of kids are running around. I'm trying not to get them in the video, but a bunch of kids are running around. Families are out here enjoying wine. There's live music. It's really nice. And it's just like on a vineyard in the middle of nowhere near the mountains. I think this is called like Front Royal or Front Royale. Listen, I don't know how to pronounce that. Virginia. So I just thought that this card was cool because literally like I will wander and flow more. And I think like this kind of aligns with what we were talking about with like being human and being like, well, let me read it back. It says, you don't have to know everything right now. You will never know everything. Resting in a capitalist system will be a meticulous love practice. You don't have to have it all figured out. Your desire, to reclaim your time and your body from exhaustion is the first step to a rested future. Focus on experimenting with rest as a tool for your liberation. And like literally play is rest, right? Like experimentation is rest because it takes you out of the rigidity of like having to be good or right. You know what I mean? And it kind of allows you to play around. So like I've been following my intuition and I don't know, I'm a little nervous recording out loud. I feel like people are looking and they probably are, but who cares? I mean, I care, obviously, but I'm fine. I'm safe. Nobody's going to harm me. They might look at me funny, but they're not going to hurt me. So anyway, just saying that out loud for myself. But yeah, like today I took the pressure off of myself and allowed myself to follow my intuition and tour the area. Just saying, oh, what's down this street? What's up? So yeah, literally by wandering and by experimenting and playing, I found and stumbled upon this autumn festival. It's so nice. So yeah, I'm happy. People are happy. The energy is cool. There's like fireplaces here. So like I walked past and I felt the warmth. I was like, ooh, luxury. Mountain luxury. But all right, I think I'm going to journal a little bit and maybe, we'll see, and sip my wine and just enjoy these beautiful views of the mountains of Shenandoah. Yay. And then after this, I might either get food from here or I might go find food because I honestly have not eaten anything today. I'm just thinking about that because I was on the road. Anyway, I might have a couple of glasses, sit for a sec, and then get some grub and then be out. But in the meantime, I wander and I experiment. So again, shout out to Trisha Hersey. In this being in alignment, I will wander and flow more. Rest is an experiment. And I love my days without plans. I love my days without like rigid, like I have to be here this time. You know what I mean? Like I love that my days are mine. So for that, I am grateful. It's been such a lovely day. Lovely, lovely, lovely day. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. How about the whole winery is up in song? I love this song. Also, West Virginia is right down the street. Can I tell you that my dream is to live in the mountains? Also, shout out to the musicians and the singers that come to the winery. They be singing their little hearts out, and nobody be paying them no attention. It takes a lot of bravery to get up there and try. So I always make note to celebrate the singer or musician. Maybe leave him a little tip, because he's singing his heart out, honey. I also think, like, we're too cool with our dreams. Like, I feel like, how can I say this? Because we've been taught to care a lot about what people think, I also think that, like, we're almost, like, afraid of being seen being uncool. Like, you know, we're like, oh, I don't really want it. I'm just kidding. I don't really want it. But we do. And we're lying, right? But we're taught, like, to play it cool. Or, like, even in, like, romance and stuff like that, people's like, I'm not going to text her tonight because I don't want to seem thirsty. Why? Like, no. If you like somebody, tell them, right? Like, the same way I think that our dreams sometimes play hide and go seek with us, because we be playing hide and go seek with our dreams. We be pretending that we don't really want what we want, but we do, you know? And I think it would do us a lot more good to, like, outrightly declare, like, this is what I want. This is the life I want. I don't want to do this anymore. We don't have to be cool about our dreams, you know? Like, our dreams are cool. Like, that's the cool. But we're too busy trying to, like, perform for other people and pretend that we're not humans with feelings and emotions, intense feelings and emotions. Like, no, I've never been able to play it cool in my life. I don't want to either. That's so whack. So boring. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I'm going to enjoy it, I'm going to enjoy it, you know? And yeah, I guess maybe because I felt shame about my dreams being deferred or being delayed or whatever, I've been afraid to say what my dreams are. But, like, no, like, this is what I want. This is heaven to me. Like, shout out to the singer, Almost Heaven, West Virginia. But seriously, like, this is heaven to me. Sitting in the bosom of the mountains, sipping wine, listening to music, writing. This is all I want. And, like, the fact that this is a luxury is weird. Like, nature is available. You know what I mean? And all I want to do is sit in it. But that's, like, that's dreaming too big. Why? Obviously, this is somebody's dream. I'm living in the manifestation of someone's dream of a winery. And I'm able to enjoy it because they were able to not be cool about their dreams. You know what I mean? I've had friends and boyfriends, whatever, lovers, that in private would be so vulnerable with me, so open and so, like, loving and free. But in real life, they're afraid. And so, like, they'll either pretend to be friends with me in private or, like, you know, put on their cool. Take off your cool. Shout out to Andre 3000. Like, take off your cool. Don't nobody want that. You know, and I feel like a lot of us are not feeling the life that we want to live because we're too busy trying to be cool. What? Dreams are vulnerable. Dreams require bravery. Like, dreams require you to make, you know what I'm saying? Make your affection for her known. Like, she likes to be wooed and romanced, you know? Just like you do. You wouldn't want nobody hanging out around you that's, like, half-ass, right? Nobody around you that's like, oh, I kind of like her, but not really. No, like, the life I want. And I feel that in my bones. But anyway, I'm still tripping off of how in line this card was today. And this literally popped out of the deck. I will wander and flow more. Rest is an experiment. And I just love, like, that when I flow and when I'm playing it by ear and following my joy or my rest or my exhaustion, right? Because after this, I'm going home. But I love that I'm always surprised with some beauty. I'm always blessed somehow by following my own intuition and believing myself. You know, and to this card, it says rest is an experiment. I honestly feel like life is. And if we approached life as an experiment, like, we would feel so much less shame when things don't turn out the way that other people say that they have to turn out. It's an experiment, right? So it leaves it open-ended. You know what I mean? Also, these glasses are nice. But when your life is an experiment, whatever the outcome is, you welcome it. And it's not a failure. That's why I said, like, amateurs and scientists, like, they get to live their best lives, because even if it doesn't work out, like, it's not a failure. It's just an invitation to try again with more information, right? And, like, why can't life be that? I honestly feel like life is that simple, but like we've been lied to and told that our lives have to be a fount or like a meal for other people to consume and like that if your life is not somebody's cup of tea, then your life is useless somehow. Or that if somebody doesn't approve of what you want to do, then you don't get to do it. Like we're always looking for the authority in our lives when we are the authority in our own lives. Like I looked up and I'm an adult, honey. You know, and though people will tell me like what I should do based on their experiences or their desires for me, it's only me who really knows, you know? And life is an experiment, and life is improv. It's yes and, right? Oh, that didn't work out, oh, period. Let's just pivot. Not like, oh, let's throw the whole thing away. Like, if you've never seen an improv show, I implore you to go see it. It shows you how to make mistakes and how to keep on going and how to laugh at the mistakes instead of like, you know, you can't be a good improv artist if you're too rigid. You have to be open. You have to be fluid, you know? And you have to be collaborative. Like somebody on your stage might say something wild and you got to take that and be like, oh, period. Let me make art out of this. And like, life is art. That's it. That's it. And we're so busy judging our life as art like it's the finished product, and we're still making it. We're still chiseling it out of marble. You know, we're still on stage. It don't have to make sense. Who said that our lives have to make sense to other people? Right? Sometimes life don't even make sense to us. To ourselves. So and yet and still like we'll figure it out eventually. It's like it's just an invitation to get on the path. It's an experiment. You get new information and you do something different. That's it. You know? I might get one more glass and get some grub. People are shifting and moving. But I hope that made sense. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. Life is an experiment, not just rest. Like, rest is a part of life. Rest is not like the pause. Rest is not a pause in life, right? Like, rest is a part of life. You see what I'm saying? And maybe my dreams needed a rest. Maybe they need a recalibration. Maybe they needed more information. Maybe I need to experience more life to be able to apply what I learned during that pause to the next phase of my life. Like, I feel like we're always thinking in terms of like what's next, but what about what is, you know? And what is beautiful here? And can that be enough? I think a lot of us are afraid of being here and afraid of this being enough, because if this is enough, then society chastises us because we're not earning anything more. We're not becoming more. Like, how scary is it to accept myself? How scary is it to accept that this is my life? How scary is it to be like, this is enough? You know? How many people do you have to let down? You know? And whether the intentions are good or bad, it still is kind of like this tether that keeps you from being able to fly, from being able to live, holding the thoughts and opinions of everybody else in your head as priority above your own. Right? It keeps us stuck. And we feel stuck, but we feel like, but I'm also not allowed to leave. Yes, you are. You're allowed to do whatever you want. Like, sometimes, again, I love following my intuition because it really just shows me, girl, I get to do whatever I want. I'm in this life, and I get to do whatever I want, including drive up the back of a mountain and then go to a winery and sit here and do nothing and journal with my headphones on, listening to my own music while people look at me like I'm crazy. And I love that. And I love that. I love the autumn air. I love the breeze. I love the weather. It's perfect. It's not cold. I love my wine. I love this moment. I love it. It's perfect. I feel luxurious. And again, I don't have to own it, right? Like, these are luxuries I can experience. And I don't have to own a winery. I don't have to own land. If I want to, great, right? But like, I get to enjoy this life. I get to do whatever. Trying to hide the baby's faces. I get to do whatever I want. Sometimes you got to remind yourself, like, you're the captain of the ship, honey. You get to do whatever you want, as long as it don't hurt nobody. Okay? As long as it don't hurt nobody else or take from nobody else or infringe on nobody else, do whatever you want. As long as don't harm yourself either. That too. But what a beautiful playground this life is, you know? I will wander and flow more. And like, what if, let me hold this up again. Like, what if we just wandered and flowed through life? Like, what if that is success? What can that be a measurement of success? Like, can I wander and flow and see what this life becomes instead of having to meet this mark set before me that nobody even asked me if I want to meet? Like, hello? Like, it's almost like they're trying to force us into these shapes and contortions that don't feel good to us, but we're supposed to like it. We're taught to like it, and if we don't like it, then something's wrong with us. I don't like it. Nothing's wrong with me. If the system hurts, then the system is wrong, right? Like, if the system hurts me, then the system is wrong. It ain't got nothing to do with me. And I just wish that humans were given permission to make mistakes, to wander more, to be seen trying. We shame each other out of our own best experiences. We have the indoctrination down pat that, like, is it down pat or down pack, by the way? Anyway, but like, we stop ourselves from chasing our dreams, right? But we also stop other people because we make fun of them for trying, or we say, oh, that's not good. That's not a way to make money. Who said that money was the goal, honey? Who said that money was their goal? Who said that money doesn't accompany joy? Who made that rule, and why do we believe it? And then we affirm that, and then we go into a life that affirms that, right? So we don't know anything else. We don't know joy. We don't know pleasure. We don't know ease because we never gave ourselves a chance to actually experience it and experiment with it. So how you know it don't work? You never even tried it. You know, and that's okay, right? But you don't get to cap somebody, put a ceiling where their sky was. You don't get to do that because, you know, but we're so good at it. We're so good at shaming each other out of our own dreams, out of our best experiences. Like, we keep each other in bondage. I don't want to do that no more. If my friend comes to me and says, hey, my spirit is telling me, you know, to sell everything and move into their vehicle, I'm going to say do it because I did it. I'm going to say do it, right? And also, I might join them. And what if that's success for me? Like, why doesn't my life get to belong to me? Why don't I get to belong to me? Why does my life have to be this constant performance, this constant permission slip, begging to be signed? You know? And maybe I get to determine that even the last iteration of my dream was not a failure. It was an experiment. And the experiment went well. There were a lot of things that I liked. There were a lot of things I didn't like, right? Actually, there weren't a lot of things I didn't like. I didn't like that it ended. That's it. Beyond that, I had a blast. And so these are giving me clues, like, now you know what you love, right? So do more of that. It's almost like the joy that we feel is like a sign. Hey, keep coming, keep going, keep going, keep going. Life is an experiment. And I feel like joy is our compass, you know? This peace, whatever this is, if it's joy, contentment, enoughness, what do I feel? I feel happy. I feel magical. I feel content. I feel at peace. And I feel like my life is mine. And I love that. And I think like that's enough, you know? Why can't that be enough? I love seeing new mothers with their babies at the winery drinking wine. I don't know. I love it. I love that they get to be them, you know? They're not just their home for their baby. They're not just the food source. They're not just, you know what I'm saying? They're still them. I love that. I love these halls, these high ceilings. Let me see if I can show you. Look at those ceilings. They're like, I don't know what you call them, like A-frame? I don't know if you can see it, but it's cute. It's nice. I love my life right now. I love my life. I love that I get to make decisions. And that is, I'm grateful for that. looking glass. And I got some polenta and meatballs. So we're gonna see what this is talking about. I like both polenta and meatballs. So we're gonna see. So for you can't hear my headphones, but I'm listening to Shadow Kiss of Life. Cheers. Alright, let's see what this is talking about. Alright, I could have done without the cheese, but it's Parmesan, so it's fine. It's like porridge. So it's like porridge of polenta. I was expecting like polenta together, but it's fine. Alright, here we go. It is cheesy. Ten out of 10. It's good. I'm at a winery, girl. Okay, friends, hopefully you can hear me. We are officially leaving the winery. Shout out to Mike and Jim. They were two gentlemen that I met at my table, and they're from the area, and they asked me about my travels and about what I was doing, and they gave me some tips, some places to check out next time that I'm in the area. And I was telling them that, like, it's so interesting because there's so much stuff around us, but because this is home, we don't go. So they gave me sites to visit, like Sugarloaf Mountain, hikes to do that are gentle. Okay, because I told them, I said, I like gentle hikes. But I had a great time. I'm so glad that I came. This was amazing. I will also say I'm grateful that this winery has food. Let me actually get the name of this winery. This winery has food. Okay, let me just I don't like wineries that only have like charcuterie boards, like charcuterie. I don't know how to say it. Whatever. The cheese, the meats. Girl, what is that supposed to do for me? First of all, I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't do that. Meats, I don't want to sit around and eat meats all day, right? And so they had actual food. So I appreciate this place. Let me share the name. The name of this place is Reitano Vineyards. And I got a wine. You want to see? I put it on the floor. But I got more of the red wine that I was drinking. It's actually really good. And it doesn't give me a headache, which is saying something. Okay. Reitano Vineyards. So I got the 2024 Heritage, which is the red wine. I'll probably be enjoying this either not tonight, maybe tomorrow, after brunch things. But yeah, some classy wine for myself. I had a great time in the mountains, drinking wine. The sun is about to set. That's why it's so dark in here. So I need to get home. I'm sure the views are going to be spectacular. But yeah, I want to get on the road before it gets too dark and too cold. So yeah, thank you. I'm going to go home now and I feel really good. I feel good that I listened to my intuition, that I did not ignore my inner voice that said, hey, tomorrow, oh wow, there's a plane. I don't know if you can hear it. But it's like one of those, like, anyway. I call them toy planes. They're not toy planes. Let me put some respect on that plane. It's not a toy plane, but it's not a commercial flight either. Commercial plane. But I'm glad that I listened to myself last night. Myself said, self? And I said, yes. And then self said, let's go to Shenandoah tomorrow. And I said, okay, period. Let's do it. And when I listen to my intuition like that, I am always living out my dreams. Yay. Again, shout out to Reitano Farms. I don't vineyards. Why am I saying this wrong? I'm gonna put the link below. But excellent venue, wonderful food, wonderful service. People are friendly, live music, fireplaces. What more could you ask for? And there's like a Christmas in front of me. There's a Christmas, like a Christmas and like crafts fair where people are selling Christmas stuff and craft stuff for their home for like for Christmas time. So yeah, like a maker's fair. Either way, 10 out of 10 day. I'll be sleeping good tonight. Love you, Alecia. I'm so glad that I get to spend my life with you. Mwah. Okay, until next time. Bye.
you.